Wow, hello and welcome to the e-commerce podcast. My name is Matt Edmondson and it is great to be with you. Today is actually evening at the time of recording. So it's great to be with you this evening. And a real treat today. We're going to be talking about e-commerce, but we're going to be talking about YouTube, the YouTube Gav, which is one of those statements. If you're in Britain and you watch a certain TV show, you'll know exactly what I've just quoted. But if you're not, you'll be like, Matt, what are you talking about? That's okay. That's okay. Stick with us and find out. A very warm welcome to you. If you are new to the show, it's great to be with you, and hope you get some value out of this on e-commerce. I say this every week because I'm genuinely humbled by the amount of people that listen to the show and download it. And the stories we get, the comments we get, it's great. And it's why we do what we do. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being part of our journey. If you're a regular to the show, everything you need to know can be found at ecommercepodcast.net. You can find out more about the show. You can find out how to get on our newsletter list, which you really want to do. Trust me. And also how to join cohort. If that's something that's of interest to you, come and join us on cohort where we talk about, well, it's just a bunch of guys. We just get together, a bunch of e-commerce entrepreneurs. We just chat about e-commerce. Totally free to join. Find out more at ecommercepodcast.net. I think I filled the space there, Nate. I don't think people noticed that.
Good.
Absolutely. If people are, 99.9% of the people listen to this show and they'll be like, Matt, what are you talking about? But there was this, as I was reading the intro, if you watch the video, I guess there was a phone ringing or something that you had to go deal with.
I had to turn off an alarm.
Yeah. So Nate quickly stood up and skulked off, which you wouldn't have seen, obviously, on the video. But Nate, it's great. It's great to have you. I thought, I wonder if Nate's coming back. I've never actually offended a guest by reading out the intro, but apparently I can do that. No, not at all. But Nate, welcome to the show, man. Great to have you. How are we doing today?
Yeah, doing well. Thanks for having me.
No, it's great to be here. Now, your expertise is in YouTube, which I'm absolutely intrigued to talk to you about for a number of reasons. Mainly, we want to grow our YouTube channel. So it's very fortuitous that you're with us, but also I'm just convinced that actually, we've had guests on the show like Brett Curry and people like that who absolute legends in this space, but I'm convinced that for every e-commerce entrepreneur, YouTube is a golden opportunity in so many ways. It seems to be feeding AI. It seems to be feeding search. But more than that, it's also a way to connect with your customers. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation to dive into when it's because a lot of times we're talking about YouTube, or the conversation is had from the entertainment perspective. How can we have a video go viral?
Mm-hmm.
How can we become a YouTuber? Um, and I come at it from a pretty unique perspective in the world of YouTube experts, and I've come to really differentiate it between uh, two different strategies. Right? Is your
Mm-hmm.
goal to entertain? Do you want as many views as possible? Do you want your video to go viral so that you can generate ad revenue,
Yeah.
or is it the opposite? Meaning, is it really going the opposite direction? Are we trying to leverage YouTube to generate leads? Do we have a business? So we're not trying to become a YouTuber as our career. We have a business already, but we're leveraging YouTube as a lead generation
Yeah.
tool. The reason that there's such a drastic difference is there's multiple algorithms on YouTube, and most of the advice that we hear are is towards to have our videos go viral so that we can get a lot of attention and get as many views as possible. But we can actually focus instead on search.
Yeah.
We can focus on our ideal clients, like what questions are they searching for online, whether on Google, on YouTube, on ChatGPT, and we can gear our content specifically to them and have them find us
Mm.
and really build a relationship before before they get any promotional type message or anything like that.
So, do you deal with both types of video content, or do you specialize more on the lead side?
Yeah, I focus 100% on the lead side.
Right. And this is interesting, isn't it? Because I mean, when you stood up and your background became a little less blurry, I saw a lot of YouTube, the little plaques they send that I see on a lot of YouTubers. So obviously you're doing something, right, Nate? But one of the things which has intrigued me about podcasting, and this is definitely not a conversation about podcasting, but there's a link here. One of the things that I've noticed about podcasting is you don't have to have a lot of downloads. You don't have to have a big audience for it to do well for your business. If your focus is lead generation, if your focus is reaching a big audience, I think that's a different thing. But if your focus is lead generation, it's not necessarily about the size of the audience. Um, and I'm and this is my experience with running a podcast. We have thousands of downloads. We don't have millions of downloads. I can't imagine there's that many people interested in what we've got to say. But I'm intrigued. Is it the same on YouTube? It's not a numbers game, maybe, with lead generation.
Correct. It's definitely, we've heard the cliche quantity or quality, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a quality thing that we're focusing on here. But YouTube does have some distinct advantages in that the content that we put on YouTube is indexed or it's searchable by topic.
Mm-hmm.
And just to illustrate what I mean by that, let's compare it to any social media platform like Facebook or
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn. We can have an amazing article or an amazing video. And if we post it there, it's not searchable by topic. People to find it would have to search for it by my name or something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But all the content that we put on YouTube is searchable and it's indexed so that it can be searched for by topic on YouTube, but it's also picked up by Google and it's also picked up by ChatGPT so that even though my audience is much more narrow, I'm not making a video that's so entertaining that I'm hoping that within the first week it gets 100 million views like a Mr. Beast video. um, there might be just a dozen people that week or even that month that are typing in that specific topic.
Mm-hmm.
But when I launch that video, I know that those people are going to find it because
Yeah.
I've made the video targeted specifically for them.
Okay, so this is where it starts to get interesting, isn't it? Because you're from what the sounds of what you're saying, Nate, you're finding out what the questions are your ideal client is asking, and you're creating content around that, which in the world of e-commerce is a genius thing to do because those kind of videos also help with your website, right? So you know what the questions people are asking. You can do a video answering that question on your website, which increases your overall engagement, actually increases your overall conversion rate. So um, I'm intrigued by this. How? Let's say let's deal with the obvious stuff first, Nate. Right? Let's assume I'm not really connected into. I connected into YouTube. I obviously watch hours of it, but let's say I don't have a YouTube channel at the moment. You've got a beautiful studio with beautiful lighting. Do I need that to get started? Are there high barriers to entry? So let's talk basic stuff first, and then let's get into tactics.
Yeah, from that perspective, what people really want more than the professional studio, the good camera, the good lighting, is they're just looking for an answer, right? And so they want to find somebody who's got that expertise.
Mm-hmm.
They've got real value to share. And so an example that I can just make up here is I'll pick Harrison Ford as an actor. So let's say I was really interested in becoming an actor and I went online and I was trying to get some advice. How do I improve my acting skills? And imagine if I found a video, not a Hollywood produced video, but a video of Harrison Ford in his home.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the lighting might not be the best, but I've got the expert. I don't know. He's just one of my favorite actors, right?
Yeah, no, I'm
So,
with you. Han
but
Solo. What's not to
a
love, right?
selfie video of him just saying, "Hey, I'm going to answer a question that I get asked a lot about acting, and and I'm just going to talk to you for a minute here, and something like that would, I'd be leaning forward. I'd be like, oh, what's he going to
Mm,
share? Well,
hmm
he's invited me into his home, that type of thing. So that's really what's most important. If you can let people know right off the bat, this is what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to answer this. I'm going to answer that. And somebody like Harrison Ford has celebrity factor, right? And that's
Yeah.
not the important part here, but the part that I would like to emphasize is somebody that's got a lot of acting experience would be really good to be able to share an answer
Yeah.
to that. And so whatever the question is that people are asking, they're looking for somebody who's really got experience to be
Mm.
willing to answer those questions.
Okay. So I guess the next question then is, if I don't need, I'm obviously studios help, but they're not essential to get started, I think is probably what I'm hearing you say. And I totally agree with you about Harrison Ford. What a great guy. He's definitely welcome on the podcast. I don't know how much he knows about e-commerce, but Harrison, if you're listening, come on the show, man. It'd be great. Um, how do we find then the questions that people are asking? Because that seems like to be a bit of a key to all of this. Like I can go to my customer service emails, for example, and I can see there's probably about 20 common questions that people ask. And maybe there's common questions about the business, there's common questions about the products. Do I start there, or is there a better way or a better system to do this?
Yeah, it's a great place to start. You can look in your comments on YouTube. You can look at in your customer support department, like you mentioned. There's a website called Answer the Public that can help kind of get these ideas going. But ultimately, I found one tool, and I can share a link. I became an affiliate with them, so I can give people a free trial. So the free trial is a Hero Keyword Tool, herokeywordtool.com. That will take you to the website SEMrush, and they have a tool called the Keyword Magic Tool.
Right.
Now, what this tool does, it's built for more traditional website SEO, and they're updating it with things like AI and stuff lately. How I use it is I go a little bit deeper. When you type in a topic and it starts giving you the keyword ideas, I turn on the questions button because I don't want typical keywords. I'm looking for questions, obviously. Another filter I turn on is word count, and I
Mm-hmm.
turn it up to 8 or higher. So if you catch what I'm doing there, I'm looking for questions that have 8 words or more that have consistent search volume, right? And this tool is fantastic because you'll find thousands of questions on various different topics, and so you can really dial in and find the questions that your target audience is asking. When you type in more words, or when people are typing in more words like that, they're giving us more information about who they are, what stage they're
Mm-hmm.
at, and so we know a lot more about them. And so when we're making a video, and I'll give you a real example. I'm gonna have to paraphrase exactly the wording that's used, but on the topic of increasing productivity, I found a couple that I remember. One is how to increase productivity in a dental office, or best way to improve productivity on a construction site.
Mm-hmm.
Those questions that I found that are somewhere like 8 or 9 words in length, they let me know what people are trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
but by who and in what situation. And so it's important to do that type of research first. I still call it keyword research, even though I do it differently than like keyword research for SEO.
Yeah.
But you do that first, you find the question that your target audience is asking, and then you outline your content and everything so that the content that you deliver is specific to that unique audience. And it works out so well to be able to find hundreds of videos that are for your dream clients. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's a way of pulling in this dream client.
So you obviously you can use these tools to find these questions. And I've used these kind of things before, Nate, and you get 50 good ideas all quite quickly. Um, is it a simple case of the ones with the biggest search volume are probably the ones to hit first, or is there again more to it than that?
It's interesting that you ask that. I've made a default rule for myself and for my clients that we start with what I call the low hanging fruit, which are the lower search volume phrases. The higher the number is the one that we're tempted to go after first, but there's naturally going to be more competition for those phrases. And so even if there's only 10 searches a month, I consider that gold. That's probably going to turn into lead generation every single month, even if there's just
Mm.
10 searches a month. But we have more of a guarantee that if we make a video answering that specific question, our video is going to rank at the top of these search engines almost immediately, within a day or two.
Mm.
And the more of those we cover, then we go after the 20s, then we go after the 30s, then the 50s, then the hundreds. Um, so somebody that wanted to go to YouTube right now and test this out, you can find, if you type in this two-word phrase in YouTube search, what one is it? Let's see, construction management. Type in construction management, and I bet you'll see Jason Schroeder ranking at the top. But if you look at the length of his title, it's not just a two-word title.
Mm.
We got him there by focusing on a lot of the tens first, meaning
Mm.
questions that have 10 searches a month, then the 20s, then the 30s. Construction management itself, just the two-word phrase, has thousands of searches a month, but we didn't start there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so in effect, you're doing with YouTube what we call, or what we've called for years, in terms of building your rank authority, aren't you? You're you're ranking well for something small, which makes it easier to rank for something slightly larger, which makes it easier to rank for, and so you're building your credibility, I suppose, with if I can use that word, with Google, with YouTube. And the more you do that, then the more likely you can get ranked on the bigger keywords. I guess where I've struggled in the past is just go, oh, that's a really good keyword. E-commerce, let me rank number one. And of course, no one's going to, what? No, it's just not going to work, right? And so it's a really interesting strategy. How long, I guess, does that process take?
To where you can really rely on lead generation from this strategy, it typically just takes a couple of months. So I use a whole tree analogy, and I'll introduce it quickly. So a tree has a trunk that goes out to branches that goes out to the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
If we compare the trunk to your broad topic, the branches are different ways we could categorize it, and then the leaves represent these very specific questions. When I do this keyword research and I'm finding all these questions, I group them according to branch. And I look at, okay, this branch here, and maybe there's 30 different leaves on this specific branch. I look at them and I have to decide if I like that branch compared to the one next to it
Mm-hmm.
in terms of, are they my target audience? Is the subject matter really in my area of expertise? Because sometimes there's a branch and we find one leaf on it that seems perfect. It's like, yeah, that's a really good question. I could answer that easily. But if you look at all the other questions on that branch, maybe it's not necessarily my target audience.
Mm-hmm.
So by doing this comparison, grouping these questions together on different branches, and then deciding, okay, this branch I want to dominate for sure. Anytime anyone's asking a question on this branch, I want to dominate. So if you can be that focused on a branch, then you can realistically plan to dominate it,
Mm-hmm.
meaning any question that people are asking on that branch, you can dominate. So the reason I went into that much detail on it is for many years, I've been implementing this strategy for about a dozen years now, but
Wow.
it's evolved, and search engines have gotten better and better, so the strategies work better. But for the majority of that time, I'll say for 10 out of those 12 years, we've had to launch 5 episodes a week on YouTube in order for this strategy to get results, because we had to put
Right.
enough content out there to get traction. But now, if you have that much focus on one branch, even if you're going to launch one episode per week, you're that focused that you can actually get to a point where you're dominating that branch within a couple of
Mm.
months.
That's really interesting, isn't it? It's so actually what you're saying and what I'm hearing, Nate, is actually quite doable, because a lot of the rhetoric maybe that I see on the web about this guy's got a course selling me how to do Instagram. This guy's got a course selling me how to do TikTok. This guy's you're talking about YouTube. Somebody over here is talking about email marketing. And I get from the marketeer's point of view, or someone who's running an e-commerce business, they're going, slow down, dude, because there's so much going on. Like, what am I actually supposed to do here? And especially if you're a small e-com company, you may be doing less than 1 million. Maybe it's just you and a partner or a couple guys or whatever, just running this business. But what I'm hearing, actually, the stuff that you'll talk about seems eminently doable, or have I misunderstood?
Yeah, that's why I really like to try and differentiate from the beginning who this strategy is for or why this strategy is unique. I
Mm,
talk about the difference between an entertaining versus an educational channel for lead generation. The people that this strategy really does work well for are coaches, consultants, speakers, authors,
mm,
course creators, or if your business has a strong educational component, like you're, a financial advisor, or
mm,
anything like that, or you have a software, you have a software as a service type business that you need to educate people, like how to use it or whatnot. And there's a lot of questions online, so there's a lot of type businesses that would apply to, but
mm,
there's also a lot of businesses that would not apply to. Um, and so it becomes very realistic. We've heard from marketing gurus like Gary Vaynerchuk,
mm,
who's had wild success, and I've heard a lot of his advice that is just fantastic. He's really a brilliant marketing genius. However, some of the advice that he shares, I would say, is not very helpful, such as, and I'll paraphrase, spam the planet, just put your content everywhere as much as
mm,
possible. I don't agree with that.
mm.
I don't think that that's how, well, I know that that's not how he became successful. He went all in on one platform.
Yeah, Wine Library TV, wasn't it?
Exactly. So I look at, I love to look at the end result,
Mm,
and we need to find a way to get that end result, starting with just one platform. And I've chosen YouTube. We talked about earlier how YouTube content is indexed and it's searchable. It's a way, honestly, that I stumbled across by accident. I was doing website SEO and getting websites ranked on the top of Google. A YouTube video was just a piece of it. But I found while looking at the data, like, oh, wow, this YouTube video is getting 50 times more views than
mm,
this page I have ranking #1 on Google. So I love to follow the results. So I pivoted my business, and for the last decade or over have really just focused on that piece. But still, YouTube's not the end goal. The
mm,
end goal is I want to get people that are searching for my expertise to find it.
mm.
And if you put it on YouTube, it ends up showing up on YouTube search, but also Google and ChatGPT and so forth. So
Yeah.
it really is doable. If you're a small business, I would commit to one episode a week and really get clear on the strategy of how to make the right type of content that will be found by your dream clients. And as it starts working and generating leads, at that point you could look at increasing maybe to 2 episodes a week or growing.
Mm,
When most of the channels that I produce over 60 different YouTube channels. Most of the ones that I produce, we do launch 5 episodes a week still, but
mm,
that's for businesses that are already above that 7-figure level. For my clients that come to me that want to leverage it, they see the power of this strategy, and they're not there yet. They're not at that 7-figure mark. It's like, well, no problem. Now we have a way you can follow the leaf strategy, but just start with one episode a week, and you can get there.
mm. That's really, really good. I'm curious. I suppose one of the questions I've just jotted down on my little notes here. What's the difference? Pictorially, I get it, between a trunk and a branch. So, for example, we have a supplements business, right? Every man and his dog's got a supplement business, apparently, selling supplements online. But we've got quite a reasonable one. And actually, one of the things that I've noticed is the thing that does really well is our educational content, right? Whether it's an educational email, whether it's an educational video, whether it's a blog post, just that educational content does super well. But as I'm listening to you talk, I'm like, I get the analogy of the tree. How do I distinguish the trunk from the branch? So I guess in my supplements business, is nutrition the trunk? And then there are specific branches off of that. I'm kind of curious how you distinguish what a trunk and a branch is, if that makes sense.
Right. So the more that you can differentiate it, so nutrition might be a great trunk of the tree, and the reality is you might have multiple trees or whatnot, but when you take nutrition itself, we then ask ourselves, okay, well, what questions are people asking about nutrition? And you'll find, well, some are asking nutrition for weight loss, or some are asking nutrition for to combat disease or prevent, or um, and so just there's different ways that people are asking questions. And so if you look at, okay, when I'm using this research tool, what words am I entering in?
Mm,
And the more words you can enter in to narrow it down, but still have a good variety of questions, that's really what I'm going for.
right.
And so I mean, I can give you some examples. I'll pull up a client, Jennifer Kenny, just on my computer screen, and I'll tell you, I'll just describe to you what I'm seeing. So Jennifer is really good at helping people earn promotions in their business, to advance in their career. And so, just a two-word branch is all I narrowed it down for. It's get promoted. People are using the
Mm-hmm.
word get promoted. And we found that that's a really good branch for her, that she's been able to get a lot of traction. Another branch would be promotion work, or promotion job, or ready for promotion. So those
Mm.
are just examples of different branches that we found, different ways that people are searching for the promotion tree, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's all super helpful. So once I've figured that out, right, and I'm like, right, I'm going to do a video a week. I've got my questions. How do I think about structuring the content? Because this is probably, with the podcast, this is maybe one of the questions I get asked the most. How long should my podcast be? And my usual response is, well, as long as it's interesting, which I appreciate is not necessarily the most helpful of answers. Um, but is there something with YouTube that I need to be thinking about? And the reason I'm asking this, one, because I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, and two, I've seen the dramatic rise in 3 hour long videos from Andrew Huberman, and folks like that, as well as the dramatic rise in YouTube shorts. And even those now are slightly longer, aren't they? I think you can do 2-3 minutes or something like that on a short. So even the shorts aren't as short as they were. So I'm curious where you sit on this.
Yeah, it's a very important question, and you're looking at it from the right perspective, because we see different trends, and the YouTube algorithms really are built on trends, or um, well, from the perspective of Mr. Beast, we'll just use his channel as an example. If we were
Mm-hmm.
wind 3 years ago, and you look at the average length of his video compared to today they're about twice as long.
Okay.
And many of the channels that I watch for entertainment purposes, they've done that exact same thing. They've increased the length. Excuse me. Many there's a travel vlog that I follow, and they used to do some big epic adventure, or in fact, he did this ultra marathon one time, and he broke it up into it to a series, like maybe a 3 or a 5 part video series. Today, he's even shared online, yeah, I can't do that anymore. Now I just make it a 90-minute episode,
Mm.
uh, because it just gets better views. The views don't do as good on a series as they used to. So with all that, we might be thinking, okay, I've got to go really long. I've got to keep people engaged super long. But then on the other hand, you bring up YouTube Shorts, and we hear all the telling of people's attention spans are getting shorter. So you've just
Mm-hmm.
got to make it concise and short, get their attention, and shorts are more likely to go viral. You can post shorts and have them get a lot more views than you can a long format video. All right, so now here's my bias, my opinion, my experience. I recommend videos within the 10 to 12 minute range. I've been in that range for a long time and I haven't really adjusted it that much. I've done a lot of experimenting, but my recommendations keep coming back to that length of time. Um, and here's why. So, when people are looking for an answer, you can, on occasion, give them a valuable answer in a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
But typically, if they're going to spend 10 minutes with you, you can go deeper, right? You're not giving them the whole book, but you're giving them enough context to share a few points of how to accomplish whatever the question is, share a story. But here's another important part. It's enough time that they can spend with you to where they kind of feel like they know you. They start to build a
Mm-hmm.
level of trust. With a short, that will never happen.
Yeah.
Um, if you compare this to paid advertising, we're interrupting people, we're
Yeah.
annoying them. People put up their defenses.
Mm-hmm.
And so an advertisement like a Super Bowl commercial or anything like that, it has to be short because we've only got a couple moments to get their attention. I'm not an advertising expert, but I've seen plenty of it and I've been annoyed by plenty of it. Um, what we're doing instead, we're at the beginning of our videos, we're not announcing our name, our business, our services. We're not listing off our credentials. We're jumping right into the question that they asked, and we're letting them know, hey, in this video, I'm going to answer this question, or I'm going to cover these things. We're going to learn this first. We're going to go there, and then we're going to go there. And I dive right in. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really, I don't promote myself at all.
Yeah.
At the end of the video, we've now established a relationship. They've gained value, and they appreciate that, and so there's this level of trust.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, we then offer them a free gift. It's like, hey, now that you've learned such and such, I've got a free resource that I want to share with you that's going to help you implement what we've talked about. Go
Yeah.
ahead and go to this link. And what that does is it has them take the next step. There's this
Mm-hmm.
trust, but now they're going to your website where they're going to see your logo. They're going to be curious. They're going to explore around. And so they'll see your promo videos, and they don't feel like they're being sold to. All of a sudden, they're on your website. They're seeing your promotional content without feeling like they're being sold to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very long way of hopefully painting the picture of what's possible on YouTube. These people that have never heard of you before are now trusting you and seeing
Mm-hmm.
you, and so you need enough time to be able to do that. I liked your response of like it's got to be long enough as long as you can still keep their attention. You said it better than
Mm-hmm.
me, but so if that ends up being 7 minutes, then great. If another video ends up being 15 minutes, then great. I
Mm-hmm.
typically shoot for that average around 10 to 12 minutes.
Really good. And I like the idea of the freebie. And this is one of those strategies in e-commerce which I don't think is utilized enough, right? In the sense that every e-commerce site exists to sell you something. You come to my site, my primary aim for you when you're there is for you to click the buy now button and buy the right product for you. I don't want you to return it. I want you to keep it. I want you to love it, and I want you to buy it again. But that in essence is what I want you to do. It's an obvious statement. But one of the things that we don't do as well at in e-commerce is the building of the email list, right? So you go to any e-commerce website and it's typically buy my product or subscribe to this really bad newsletter, right? Where I'm just going to spam the crap out of you. Get back to Gary Vaynerchuk to spam you. And so we've started to employ a few strategies. Like if you put your email in here, you'll get a 10% discount, right? You give me your email, I'll give you something in return, a 10% discount. It's okay. I think one of the key strategies that we should have in e-commerce is the primary strategy is getting you to buy, but our strong secondary strategy is to get your email address, right? It always has to be the secondary call to action. And so by delivering value in the video and then connecting that to a freebie like a download where 99 times out of 100 you're going to get someone's email address to give them that freebie, sounds like a really, really smart strategy, especially if there's education around your products that you're selling. This sounds like a really good way to build your email list. Is that what you find? That the YouTube channel exists to build the email list, which is where you get your leads. Then you have to have a whole separate conversation, I guess, about a lead nurturing process.
Yeah, we found it works so well that the quality of leads that come in are as if they're referral quality leads.
Mm,
We, if a lot of my clients like to get people into a one-on-one conversation, some type of a discovery call or strategy session. And when we're talking with somebody that discovers us through YouTube, they've typically watched several videos,
hmm
and people will say that to me a lot. Yeah, I've watched a lot of your videos. I understand your leaf strategy, and they're excited that they get to talk to the guy in the video or the woman in the
Yeah.
video. And so they're kind of impressed. My client, one of my clients, Chris Crone, he said that it's as if they're coming to me with their credit card in hand. They don't know what they're buying, but they want to buy something because they
hmm
know they want to work with me.
hmm
So to have that quality of lead come from this, it works really well. Something else that I can tie in that I've observed is people will think, well, they might have it ingrained in their mind that I've got to do something to promote or push my YouTube channel. Can I share my videos on Facebook, or should I email my list and let them know
Yeah.
about my YouTube videos? And there are exceptions to this, but my default rule is I'm going to say no, don't do that. And here's why. So your website or your landing pages or your email list, that's your core. And all these other resources, your Facebook page, your LinkedIn page, your YouTube channel, those are all entrance points. And so if somebody's coming to you and they see you through an entrance point, you don't want to send them from one entrance point to another entrance point. You want to send them to your core. And like you said, get them
Mm,
to join your email list. Now, there's another differentiator in really being honest with yourself and saying, is this a marketing entrance point, or is this actually a nurturing vehicle? If I've got a lot of friends on Facebook and I post something there, they already know who I am. It's not,
yeah.
I'm not marketing there. I'm nurturing. So really putting things in perspective of, okay, I'm leveraging this tool for nurturing. I'm leveraging this tool for marketing. And how is it marketing? Am I doing paid ads? Am I hoping something will go viral? That's not the best type of marketing. But
Mhm.
am I pulling in people through search, right? If you
Mm,
pull people in through search, it's an entrance point. Send them to your core, get them to grow your email list.
yeah. No, I love that. But it's kind of, you started to answer my question a little bit. My next question, Nate, and that's then this whole idea of repurposing content, right? So the beautiful thing I have about this particular podcast, so not necessarily with e-commerce right now, but with this podcast, we've been recording what, about 38 minutes, somewhere around there. We get the YouTube video, we get the blog post, which we can obviously create from the transcript. Um, and we can then also repurpose the content into the audio, which gives us the podcast. We can repurpose some of the videos into shorts or Instagram reels. We can repurpose some of the quotes into tweets or whatever they're called now, X's, I don't know. Um, um, do you think that works? And I appreciate this is maybe a slightly leading question. Having done some experiments with this, where you have a long form podcast, the shorts get you views. I just don't know if those then lead to the actual podcast itself, right? I've not really noticed an uptake on the podcast views on YouTube. Um, that it may be that I'm doing it wrong. Hence the reason I'm asking the question.
Yeah, so two things to discuss there. One, I'll come back and I'll talk specifically about YouTube Shorts. And then the other point about repurposing, if you've got a successful uh, content strategy on another platform, we'll just say Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
it's totally, I love efficiency. So it's totally fine for you to take your podcast recording or your YouTube video and take pieces of it to implement into whatever successful strategy you found on Instagram. So totally recommend that if you find something that's working. Every platform has its own unique formula.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've just got to follow that formula for success. Um, on the other hand, if you're thinking, okay, well, I've got this amazing YouTube video, I've got some AI software that will chop it up into pieces for me, and it will allow me to just post it everywhere. I mean, it's not really going to hurt you to try it, but I haven't seen any benefit whatsoever come from
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you've really got to customize it to the audience and that unique platform. Now, talking specifically about YouTube Shorts, about a year ago, I saw that YouTube had come out with a feature that was recently brand new, and I saw how somebody was using it, and that was about a year ago. The feature was on YouTube Shorts. They would actually display a full length video on the screen if when you set it up, you could put in a related video.
That's right. Yep.
And so I saw that feature and I thought, that in my mind, I'm wondering, is YouTube trying to get viewers to go from shorts to videos? I want to
Mm.
experiment with that. So across multiple channels, I'd say about a half dozen,
Hmm.
we did an experiment for several months, and these were all channels that we were launching 5 episodes a week. So that's roughly 20 episodes a month. What we started doing is we're going to create 20 shorts a month as well,
Right.
not extracted from the YouTube content. I really wanted to put my energy into these shorts, and the goal of the short was to get people to watch the full length video
Yeah.
because we'd go into a lot more depth on the subject. So after doing this on all these channels for several months, I looked at the data, and the data said the increase of views on our videos was 0.1%.
Oh.
So it's a very low number.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of the sources of traffic are low numbers. Like if you put in the end screen, you can display a video on the screen for people to click and watch next.
Hmm.
It's so easy to do. I do recommend you do it, but really the volume on that is typically as low as 0.9%.
Mm.
So that's still a low number. But when I saw 0.1%, I'm like, oh, it's like 1/9 of the end screen views. So once I saw that, I'm like, all right, there's another, because I've come back every year or so and done more experimenting with shorts. But that's the most recent one that I did. And so early in this year, 2025, I
Mm.
decided, all right, we're not going to waste our energy on shorts.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a lot of effort for very little return. I think that's what we discovered ourselves through a little bit of testing. So it's good to know I'm not going nuts or I'm doing it wrong. That's always helpful.
And
Now,
don't
listen,
get me
go
wrong,
on.
you're going to hear a lot of YouTube experts that love shorts, and shorts are so helpful for them, but their goal is different. So I like to
Yeah.
clarify. My goal is I'm trying to curate the right type of audience. I don't want my
Mm.
videos to go viral. And maybe I could share a story about a video that went viral that really hurt my channel. But to sum up this point, shorts are great if your end goal is views, if your
Mm.
end goal is subscribers, and your end goal is ad revenue. But that's not my end goal or my clients. We want to bring in the right people
Yeah.
who are dream clients and so forth.
So, how did a viral video hurt your channel? That's a
Right.
really interesting question.
Yeah, it's crazy. This was several years ago. I was making videos talking about YouTube strategy, talking about entrepreneurship. I made a video titled "Why I Hire People in the Philippines," and my audience liked it. But the video took off. It went viral among a new audience. These are people that reside in the Philippines. They loved that I was talking about their country. Many of them would comment and hope that I would hire them.
Hmm.
And that first video, when it took off, it was exciting. I let it get to me. I made more videos talking about the Philippines.
Hmm.
The first video ended up getting 1.5 million views, and over a period of time, I added several tens of thousands of subscribers to my channel. Here's why this is a problem. When I posted a video talking about YouTube strategy, this new audience didn't like it. They
Hmm.
wouldn't watch it. And the YouTube algorithm is making suggestions to me saying, Nate, don't make videos on YouTube strategy. You need to
Right.
talk about the Philippines. And I ended up, it was a hard decision to do, but I ended up deleting all those videos about the Philippines, moving them to a different YouTube channel. It was really, really hard. In fact, it took years to redirect my main Nate Woodbury channel to get it back to where I could talk about YouTube strategy and have those videos succeed. I also, in addition to wrestling to redirect that channel, I launched a different channel, a secondary channel talking about YouTube strategy. Yeah, it was a mistake that I wish I'd never made. So if you do ever have a video that goes viral, you're going to feel excited about it, but you want to look closely to see, okay, who are these people?
Yeah.
What are they commenting about? Is this bringing in the right audience? And you've got to be brave enough to delete the video if it's going to hurt you like that video did me.
Yeah, that's really. Oh, Nate, listen, we're just getting started, brother. I feel like I've got a whole bunch more questions, but I'm aware of the time. If people want to reach you, if they want to connect with you, if they want to find out more about the stuff that you guys do or your strategies, what's the best thing to do?
Yeah, I'll invite you to my webinar. I do a live webinar most every week. You can go to theleafstrategy.com, and I'll teach you the analogy of the tree, but then I'll actually take you behind the scenes and we'll do keyword research together, and I'll show you a lot of examples so that people can really start to implement this on their own. So that's theleafstrategy.com.
Okay, we will, of course, link to that in the show notes, which you can get along for free with the transcript, with all the show notes today on the website, ecommercepodcast.net. They'll be in your, let's face it, you don't have to go to the website. They're actually going to be in your podcast player, aren't they? If you watch it, if you're listening to this on iTunes, just scroll down, it'll be in there. If you watch it on YouTube, it'll be in the description. Go click theleafstrategy.com, connect with Nate and see how it actually can work for you guys. Nate, listen, we're at that part of the show where in the dying minutes of the show, we like to have this new section now called Saving the Best Till Last, where we ask you, the guest, what's your top tip, like your best tip, especially for those people that have stayed right until the end. There's a good YouTube thing here, isn't there? But those that have stayed right till the end, what's your top tip? You've got the mic for 2 minutes. Over to you, bud.
All right. So some other good advice I could share is when the video starts, meaning that your camera, you hit record, what do you say at the beginning of a video to really engage people and keep them going? You want to create some type of a hook. If you give away the secrets in the beginning of the video, it can backfire on you. They'll think that they've got their answer, and so they'll just leave. And so if you can let them know what's coming, but do it in a way that creates curiosity, you can actually get people to commit right in the beginning that they're going to stick around and watch the full episode. So I could spend a lot more time on that, and perhaps you can find a video where I've talked about setting curiosity hooks. That's what I'd recommend.
Fantastic. I should probably start doing this on this show. Nate, we're going to have a conversation, I feel. But listen, thank you so much for coming on the show. Genuinely love the conversation. And I'm super excited by YouTube. We're doing a lot of stuff, actually, ladies and gentlemen, behind the scenes. You won't know about this, but EP or e-commerce podcast, we're doing some changes to that. But also in my e-commerce business, we've just gone and built a brand new studio down at our Nottingham HQ. We're building a new studio in the next couple of months at our Liverpool HQ. We're investing a fair bit of time and energy into the old YouTube. It's something that I'm really curious to see what happens for our own business. So go check it out. Go check out Nate's stuff and see how you get on. Share your stories. But Nate, thank you for coming on the show, man. Really, really appreciate it. Appreciate you taking the time to share your expertise with us.
You're welcome. This was fun.
Wonderful. Wow. Hope you got a lot out of that, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic conversation. Like I said, if you want to know more, go to ecommercepodcast.net. But that's it from me. That's it from Nate. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a phenomenal week wherever you are in the world. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.